Adiga tsukhur, tawashat, sitsar Yamisha janti, and today I'll be providing you with an overview on the Circassian language. I'm a Circassian living in the diaspora. I grew up speaking Kabardian, but I never had a strong command of the language. A few years ago I began to teach myself Kabardian, and quickly realized that learning the language was difficult without understanding the alphabet. I've developed a simple method for learning the Kabardian alphabet. This program is designed for speakers of the English language who have some familiarity with the Latin alphabet. Over the course of the next 7 or 8 minutes, I will attempt to teach you how to read the Kabardian alphabet. This is my first such attempt, and I'm not quite a native speaker. I apologize in advance for any mistakes, but I'm doing the best I can. We'll begin with a view of the standard Kabardian alphabet. This is the full Kabardian alphabet as it appears in dictionary order. All letters are in lowercase, and there are 56 letters in total. The alphabet can be a bit intimidating for the uninitiated. So why don't we see if we can discern some patterns that helps to simplify our view. We'll begin by identifying the vowels, which are now highlighted in red. We're now going to look for any patterns in the alphabet. It does not matter at this point whether we know what the letters mean or how they sound. We only need to understand that the letters now highlighted in black all follow a similar pattern. They end in a character that looks like the letter Y in English. Because this character is a letter all by itself, we are going to remove these multi-character letters from our view. Trust me, we are not missing anything by removing these letters from our view. Once we learn how to pronounce the character that looks like a Y in English, we will still be able to read words with the letters that we are eliminating. As a side note, imagine that the English language had a letter called ts that was made of a T and an S character. Clearly no such letter exists in the English language, but that does not prevent us from reading words like bits or bats. Because we know how to read and pronounce the letters T and S, we are able to read such words. The letters we just eliminated do not have a T or an S sound in them, but the principle is the same. Next, let's see if we can simplify the alphabet even further. Again, we'll highlight a few more multi-character letters, and again, it does not matter whether we know what the letters mean or how they sound. We only need to understand that the letters now highlighted in black all end in a character that looks like an uppercase letter I in English. Because this character, the one that looks like an uppercase letter I in English, is a letter all by itself in Kabardian, we're going to remove multi-character letters that include this character from our view. There are still a few more letters that we can eliminate. We won't spend a lot of time talking about why we don't need to learn these letters in order to read properly. Eliminating all these letters simplifies our approach to learning the alphabet without sacrificing our ability to properly read. Why don't we clean up the alphabet and see how things look? We've gone from an official Kabardian alphabet of 56 letters to what we'll call our simplified alphabet of 39 letters. There are still a few patterns you can see in the alphabet. Within our simplified alphabet, we have a core set of 31 letters. These are the letters that represent new things to learn. But let's think about it. We haven't even begun to learn anything yet, and we've already been able to reduce the volume of new stuff by nearly half. So we've gone from 56 letters to 31. We've reduced the difficulty of learning by nearly half. That's a great start, but I think we can still do better than that. We've made some color-coded comments. Let's tidy things up a bit and take a fresh look at our simplified Kabardian alphabet. This is already looking a lot simpler than the view we initially had. I think things are looking much better. Now let's start to make things interesting and begin to group the letters. Group 1 is comprised of letters that look and sound just like their counterparts in English. Again, these letters look and sound identical to their English equivalents. Let's sound them out one by one. The first letter is the letter A, like the sound in the Kabardian word for goose, qaz. Listen and repeat. A, qaz. The next letter is K, like the sound in the word for school, shkol, or the Adiga Israeli village in Israel, Kafr Kama. Listen and repeat. K, shkol. This letter is like the sound in the word for needle, Master. Listen and repeat. Master. Moving on, the next letter is O, like the sound in the word top. This is the word for ball in Kabardian. Listen and repeat. O, top. The next letter looks like the letter C in English. In Kabardian, this letter is S, and only ever makes that sound. This is the same as the ending sound in the word for snow, wes. Listen and repeat. S, wes. Finally, the last letter in this group is the letter T, like the sound in the Kabardian word for basket, mata. Listen and repeat. T, mata. Group 1 comprised of 6 letters, but in reality there was no new learning. We just need to remember that these letters look and sound the same in both English and Kabardian. Now let's take a look at the remaining letters. And let's focus on Group 2. These letters look like Latin letters, but have different sounds than their equivalents in the English language. Note that each of these letters can still be easily pronounced by an English language speaker. Let's sound out each of these letters one by one. The first letter in Group 2 looks like the letter B in English. In Kabardian, this letter makes the V sound, like in the word for bull, V. Listen and repeat. V, V. The next letter looks like the letter E in English. In Kabardian, this letter makes the Ya sound. This is actually the first letter in my last name, Yamisha. When appearing in the middle of a word, it can also make an A sound, like in the name Lena. Listen and repeat. Ya, Yamisha. A, Lena. The third letter in Group 2 looks like the letter H in English. This letter makes the N sound in Kabardian. This sound can be found in the middle of the word for house, winna. Listen and repeat. N, winna. The letter that looks like a P in English makes the rolling R sound in Kabardian, rrr, like in the word for watermelon, khrbiz, or the word for elbow, afrecha. Did you hear the rolling R sound? Listen and repeat. Rrr, khrbiz, watermelon. Rrr, afrecha, elbow. The fifth letter in this group is a bit of a chameleon. When this letter appears at the beginning of a word, it makes the W sound, like in the word for Russian, waris, or in the word for you, W. When appearing in the middle or end of a word, however, it makes an oo sound, like in the word for bird, bzu. By the way, there are a few exceptions to this rule, and they're related to the letters that we eliminated early on, but let's keep things simple for now. Finally, the last letter in Group 2 looks like X in English. It is pronounced ch, like in the Kabardian word for rain, wesh, or the Adiga word chasa. Listen and repeat. Ch, wesh, rain. Ch, chasa. I know we covered a bit of new ground with Group 2, but think of these letters as playing musical chairs. The sounds all pretty much exist in English language words, so technically there's nothing really new that we've learned here.